Hey everyone, on our English in a Minute today, we're going to be discussing allegories. Have you ever heard of an allegory? Or have you ever wondered what is an allegory? So, an allegory is a story, a poem, or even a picture that has like a hidden meaning behind the surface. It often teaches a moral lesson or it might comment on society, and instead of directly just kind of telling you what the lesson is. Allegories use characters, events, even the setting as symbols to represent that deeper meaning. Think of it kind of like a puzzle where the story on the surface is one thing, but then underneath, there's that bigger message for you. So I have two actually really great examples of allegory, and you've probably heard of them. And you might not have realized that, it was an allegory or it was trying to kind of get at a deeper meaning with you. The first is by Dr. Seuss, and it's the story The Lorax. And yes, there is the movie as well. So The Lorax was actually published in 1971. And on the surface, The Lorax is about this creature who's trying to protect the trees in the forest from a greedy businessman. But it's really an allegory about environmental destruction and the dangers of overconsumption. The once lures represent corporate greed, while the Lorax stands for nature and environmental responsibility. Dr. Seuss, almost all of his stories were allegories, and he used this simple story to send a powerful message about the importance of taking care of our planet. Now, the second one is one of Aesop's fables. You probably were read these when you were a child. I know that I was, and I read them to my own kids. And the one that we're going to discuss is The Tortoise and the Hare. Do you remember that one? So at first glance, it's a story about how, a turtle that's not really fast ends up winning a race against the hare, who's a lot faster than him. But the deeper meaning is about the value of persistence and also humility. The hare seems to represent arrogance and overconfidence, while the tortoise shows us that slow and steady, and putting in the effort and having determination, that wins the race and leads to success. That's the moral. But instead of just telling us that you should act this way and that you should be humble and that you should be persistent, the story uses animals and a race to make that lesson memorable and to get kids to actually listen to it. So why do allegories work? Allegories can make complex ideas easier to grasp. They wrap them up inside of a story, which is always great. So instead of just telling you the right thing to do, or that greed is bad, or that persistence pays off, they show us this through symbols and events, and that's why they stick with us. They help us to let us figure out the message ourselves. So I want you to sit and think of some other allegories you might have heard about. You can put them in the comments below. And this has been your English in a Minute. Have a great day, everyone.